Do you ever feel like your mind just won't stop? As if you're stuck in this endless loop of thinking, rethinking, and overthinking. And sometimes also overthinking about how much you overthink. You are not alone. Overthinking, or rumination as we call in psychology, is something we all experience at some point or another. But studies show that constant rumination can lead to higher levels of stress, anxiety, and also depression. But the good news is you do not have to be stuck into this loop. Hello everyone, I am a psychologist and welcome to my channel where I will be making videos like these to help you manage your thoughts, emotions and mental well-being. If this sounds helpful, then make sure you subscribe to my channel and also share this with someone who might benefit from it. Before we start looking at overthinking as one of our biggest enemies, I want you to know that there is also a healthy part of it which is called brainstorming, where you are thinking constantly towards reaching a productive solution. It's almost like problem solving or creating and innovating something from scratch, but you're reaching and you're going towards a particular direction. So the key is to know the difference between healthy type of rumination versus the unhealthy, unproductive rumination where you keep going on circles and keep getting stuck over one thought and do not reach a particular conclusion. In my counseling experience, I have noticed three very common situations where overthinking becomes unhealthy. One of the most common situations is while making a decision where you take a lot of time and you cannot reach a particular decision. Secondly, getting stuck in a past event and thinking about it over and over again about a particular situation or about a particular person. And the third common situation is worrying about the future, where you keep thinking about what's going to happen, how am I going to handle the situation, etc. So today we are going to talk about all these three events, for which I am going to share one effective and simple way to deal with these three situations, as well as one reflective question that I want you to ask yourself and introspect. So make sure you watch till the end of this video, because I'm also going to share a magical word in the end which you have to remember if you want to start managing overthinking. Consider it like a secret ingredient to this anti-overthinking recipe. So let's begin with the first situation, that is decision making. Now, my personal challenge has been with decision making is that sometimes I take such a long time making a simple choice, and then I get frustrated and end up making a random choice that I later on regret. So a friend of mine suggested that why don't you keep a deadline and just make a quick decision in that short time limit. So I tried that and it helped to an extent, but I still wasn't feeling as good. And then I started reflecting on why am I still not feeling that good. And while I started reflecting on this problem, as well as simultaneously I started exploring this issue with my patients who were also experiencing something similar. And what I found out was that what was really happening, that is the core issue, was not just the time I was taking, but it was the lack of belief in myself and the choices I was making. When you don't trust yourself, it is likely that you're going to overthink every possible outcome and also be very scared if the particular outcome does not go in your favor, and then you start questioning your capabilities. So it's very important to remind yourself that no decision is perfect, and that is okay, because the goal is not to be perfect, but it is to be efficient in the given time. I will be making a video on decision making soon, but until then, I want you to ask a reflective question to yourself after this video ends. So try to note the question down or take a screenshot of the screen now. The question is, which stage of my life conditioned me to be perfect? What was I told growing up that led me to believe I wasn't allowed to make mistakes? So try digging into your past and look at where the actual issue must be coming from. Now let's come to the second situation, which is being stuck in the past. Now, usually what I get to hear often with people who are struggling in this area is something like, why did this happen to me? Why did it happen to me in this particular time? Or why just me and no one else? So you hear a lot of whys in this situation. We need to convert the whys into the how and the what. So whenever you see yourself questioning a lot about the situation that's going on, I want you to stop and convert that why into what or how. Like, how do I manage this situation now that it has happened? Or what can I do to heal from the past and move on into the future? Or what can I do that will make me feel connected to the present? Now, I know when we're talking about the past, there's not much you can do in this moment because it's already gone, but a very practical way to deal with this that has worked wonders with me and a lot of my patients is journaling. Write down whatever comes into your mind without judging it. Don't worry about a proper structure. Just take out a paper and start writing down whatever has been stuck in your mind. There is something magical that I cannot explain or emphasize on about the beauty of writing and putting your thoughts down on paper. I think when you write it down, it just makes the whole feeling less overwhelming and just makes everything much more clear when you look at it in the paper rather than dealing with it in your own mind. So now comes the reflective question. Again, if you want, you can take a screenshot of the screen now. The question is, which part of my past am I still stuck on? What can I do now to give it a closure? Most of the times we are still stuck in the past because it hasn't been received a proper closure. So spend some time rather than avoiding what's bothering you and give it a good closure. Now comes our third and the final situation that we are going to talk about today, which is worrying about the future. Now, there's a very simple and powerful exercise that you can try doing if you are somebody who worries about the future and cannot help it. This exercise is called the circle of control exercise, for which you can take out a paper and draw a circle. You can also imagine a circle, but I always prefer doing things physically. So draw a circle and write down everything that is in your control inside the circle. That is your perception of an event or the choice you can make, etc. And everything that's outside your control can be written outside the circle on the paper, which is external factors, situational factors, timing, other people's actions, other people's opinions, etc. Then you need to focus more on the things you've written inside the circle and try and let go of everything that's outside the circle. Sometimes we focus on things outside of our control so much because maybe growing up you didn't have much control over the things that were happening around you, and this is your way of protecting that helpless version of you in the past. So the question I want you to ask yourself today is, growing up, were there occasions where I felt powerless? What happened and how did I feel? Focusing on the things that made us feel helpless in the past can actually give us insight about a lot of our actions today. So these were 3 out of the many situations that can lead to overthinking. And now is the time to talk about the magical word that I mentioned earlier in this video. The magical word I want you to keep in mind whenever you are working, not just with overthinking, but anything related to your mental well-being, is acceptance. We usually have this urge to fight the negative feelings because we've been told that you should be positive, and it is usually believed that negative feelings are to be avoided and fought. But the truth is, the more you do that, the more it proves to be counterproductive. Just imagine this. If I ask you not to picturize a pink elephant, the first thing that's going to happen is you will end up picturizing a pink elephant. But instead, when you focus on the fact that this is what I'm feeling and that's okay, let me try and see what my mind is trying to tell me, and then I will try and gradually work on replacing the thought. Overthinking is a part of being human. The more you fight it, the more it has power over you. So whether you are stuck overthinking a decision or into a past situation or worrying about the future, Remember, you have more control over it than you think you do. Just remember to set time limits, take action, focus on learning rather than dwelling, and most importantly, accept it. Thank you for watching this video. If you think this has helped you, please like this video, put a comment on what you would like to see next, and also share this video with your loved ones who may benefit from it. Thank you. Bye-bye.